y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come along with us. Y'all saw us cut these pines here a few days ago. Gonna get them milled up into a little bit of lumber. Well, Andy is anyway. And I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the wind noise. The wind's blowing pretty good today, and I'm sorry, y'all.
All right, it's close to level as it's gonna get. I'm gonna we need to get that trailer over here on this side, and we'll stack the lumber off onto it. We'll back this trailer up right in there.
Now this is a mobile sawmill. I know we had some questions on the other sawmilling video, and this sawmill is actually meant to, it doesn't have to be on a cement pad. You just have to get it level, and that's what you saw Andy doing a while ago. He puts a level on it. It's hard to find a level piece of ground anywhere around here unless there's a house sitting on it. And you can see how far those jacks are compared to those, just the way it is.
Before we get started, I'm gonna put a new blade on. It's a little bit rusty, but it is new. Take this one off. This one was still cutting okay, but well, you could tell it was getting dull, so I figured it's time to replace it. You have to be extremely careful with these blades, because these things are sharp. They will cut you in a heartbeat. Man, it's going to be fun up here today with the wind blowing like this.
Probably take 2 hours to do.
Let that warm up for a few minutes before we start sawing. So here's our log pile that we're going to be working on today. May not all of it be on camera, but we figured we'd show a couple on there just to kind of show y'all what we got going on here. First one we're going to start off with is probably one of the smallest ones there is, and it's one of the ones that's got the most of a crook in it. It's got a crook right in here, so it may not actually turn out that much lumber by the time you actually mill out and mill that crook out of it. You may not have a lot left to work with, but like I said in that last video, cutting these logs, I'm after some 2x8s, 16 foot long. So we have 16.5 foot logs here, and I may not get too many. I may not even get a 2x8 out of this first log here, but that's okay. I mean, I can use some 2x6s and 1x6s and all. That's fine with me, but I really need the 2x8s. So I should be able to turn out several 2x8s actually out of that second log there. And but anyways, we're gonna throw them on there and see what happens with it. A 16 foot is about as long as I can saw on this mill. I think it's actually rated for 17 foot. So 16 foot 6 inches is pretty much it. You don't have much playroom. But when you set that log on there, the end has to be all the way up at the saw head in order to be able to saw. Well, let's see what kind of pretty wood we get out of here. I just love the way a new blade cuts. That's almost like you've run it through a planer. It's so smooth. I will say though, that with the crook in this board here, in this log, it's not going to make the best lumber. I mean, it's going to be fine, but you can see where the center of the tree does this. You see where I've cut into it right there, so the grain's not all the same. This down here is actually really nice, but where that crook was right there, might be under a little bit of stress or something like that, but it should do just fine for what we're going to do with it. Raise up and go back down. Got some stress in it. It's probably going to break on us in the middle, so be ready. This log here is at the point that we're going to start rolling boards off. And I want to show you something, how you may have heard me earlier in the video talking about how this board had some stress in it. You can see it right here, how it's touching on both ends of the frame here. But then when you get right here, it's off. That board has, or that cant has picked up in the middle. I could see it when I was sawing slabs off. The actual slab we were sawing off was walking back and forth like that because it had the stress in the board. But like I said, for what we're doing here, unless it turns into a complete banana when we saw it off, and I highly doubt it does, this will be just fine for us. But I didn't figure we were gonna get no 8-inch boards out of this log. It's gonna work out that I'm gonna get 2x6s out of this one. And that's totally fine too, because they'll be used for something, probably during the building project that we're wanting to do. Yeah, when you get into these long boards especially, they ain't light.
Keep going.
Hey, Mama. Daddy. Are you gonna do all the boards this way?
What way?
The way that you're doing it right now.
Yeah. This one's just a hair thick.
What do you think?
Oh no. Look at that. These 3 boards are the slab boards that come off that are still usable to make other boards out of. And so that's why every time I'm running the mill, unless I just have to do something different, I take 1-inch slabs off. Because if nothing else, you can get 1-inch sticker boards, which is the boards you put in between your lumber as it's drying. So you don't want to stack lumber like that right on top of each other. You actually put little sticks in between it so air can flow through it and it can dry. If you have it touching, it'll mold. But these right here, these 3 will actually, once I edge them up, of course that end out there is going to be no good, but that can just be sawed off. And then we'd have probably a 12-foot board here. So I'm just going to take them all down to a 6-inch board. So I know y'all probably see that on some of these, there's still some bark left. Y'all, that's perfectly fine for siding boards or anything like that. I mean, it's all that, when that comes down to that right there turns into preference. I don't care if I have bark left on my siding boards or my slab boards that go across the top of the roof. They still serve the same purpose. And to be honest with you, I kind of like the looks of that bark on there. It sort of gives it more of a rustic look. But there we have it. We got 3 6-inch boards, 3 1x6-inch boards, and 3 2x6s out of that one little log. So that's really not that bad, is considering how small that log was. But that also goes to show you, you'll see here in just a shortly, what we actually turn off of that big log, and it'll take the same amount of time to mill it, and so you get more lumber and you do it in pretty much the same amount of time. So it's nicer to have big logs, but on the downside, big logs are harder to manhandle. I mean, you know, when you're rolling them and everything else, it's harder to work. So just all depends on if you're working by yourself, or if you've got help, or whatever, or what you might want to deal with. Lay them right there. Just lay this one right on top of it.
Okay.
I can't believe it picked that log up.
I'll show y'all how big this one is. See there? Any of y'all been following us since, what, early fall? We throwed a bunch of carrot seeds out here, and Jacob's been out here pulling him up some snacks. The deer have really eat the greens up. We didn't know if there'd be anything under there.
There's a little one under there. It looks big from the top.
I see that. But anyways, it makes a good snack anyway, don't it?
Yeah, just like a little one biter.
Well, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I guess the cold weather made the phone die, and we didn't realize it, so we lost quite a bit of sawing there. But anyways, we're going to try to make that back up. I want to show you what the big log turned off. We ended up getting, what I say, 4 1x6s. Now all of these 1x6s come off of the slab boards that came off of the, you know, while I'm trimming the log down to a cant. And then we ended up getting 5 2x8s. I mean, those 2x8s are some massive boards. They're not nothing to play around with. They're heavy. And we actually had I want to mention this real quick, and they brought up a good point. So I mean, this is a really good point. Somebody asked, said, well, if I'm going to be using it as beams or whatever, why not mill up oak instead of pine, because oak would be stronger. And you're absolutely right. Oak would definitely be stronger. But pine is something we have an abundance of around here, and it's sort of something that nobody really wants growing, because eventually they're going to fall anyways. And so we might as well take advantage of what we have that we know is going to fall. I don't really want to use up what oak trees I've got here just to mill up some lumber. And another thing is what I just mentioned. Pine, even though these boards are heavy, if this was an oak board, me and Megan could probably hardly pick it up off the mill. Like, they're not light boards. So that's some really heavy wood. But I just wanted to mention that. I mean, and like I said, that would be awesome if we could use that much oak. But we don't. it's not that we don't have the oak here. It's just I don't really want to cut it unless there's one already fell on the ground, or unless I find one that's got some issues with it. But anyways, they've turned out some nice 2x8s here. We're gonna mill up this one more log here, and it's sort of getting a little bit late in the evening, so I think we're gonna quit after that. But I'm really excited with this log because this one is good and straight. It didn't have no big ends on it. I mean, it's pretty much the same diameter from one end to the other. And it's just, I think this one's going to roll off some really, really nice lumber here. Let's roll this one off, and hopefully the camera don't die on us this time. I'll cut these up, and that'll be what sits in between my lumber stacks. We call them stickers. Well, that's it for today, I guess, ain't it?
Yep.
Time to go home and feed animals.
Now time to go do the second job of the day.
Yeah.
Or third or fourth or fifth.
Whatever you want to call it, yeah. But and one thing I wanted to say about this lumber right here, y'all, you can't buy this at Lowe's. I had to buy lumber at Lowe's the other day for a project on the pack house. I had run out of 2x8s. Well, as y'all know, now I have restocked. But I had to go buy some 2x8s at Lowe's the other day. And I remembered real quick why we decided to buy a sawmill. That wasn't, in my opinion, I think it's crazy that they'll allow you to build a house with that stuff, and they won't let you build a house with this right here. I had to dig through the whole stack of lumber to find 10 nice 2x8s that I was willing to bring home and actually pay for. But yeah, let's show them what we got here. I'm pretty proud. This is, like I said, this has come off of 3 logs, and we've got some nice 2x8s here, man. These things are just, they're some nice boards. They really are. We hope y'all enjoyed today's video and spending the evening with us up here.
Yep. Yeah, this right here took us, along with making a video, we've been up here for about 2.5 hours.
I was going to say 3 probably.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not too bad, especially for some, you know, people that don't know what they're doing. And
that was counting my sister coming by and talking for a minute.
Yeah, so.
And, so yeah, so 3 hours to get 3 logs sawed up, and, well, we'll tell you real quick what we ended up with. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We got 10 2x8s, 16 foot. We got a bunch of the little sticker boards here. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We got 11 1x6s. And then we've got 3 2x6s. And once again, you're not going to go to Lowe's and buy this right here. I mean, you could calculate up what you could go to Lowe's and buy this for and say, well, yeah, y'all spent 3 hours of your time this evening, plus the time cutting the logs down and bringing them up here to get this much money's worth or whatever. But this is just like growing your own food. It's not the same product when you come out in the end with it, is it?
No.
This is so much better than what you're going to buy in the store. And, you know, it's just like when you're working up your own meat or anything like that, you're the one handling it. So you're the one that's getting to visually see every single cut and correct things if they go wrong, or throw out boards that may not be no good, or throw out logs that may not be no good. You know, so it's just like like I said, it's just like growing your own food. The product you get and the outcome does not have a value. Anyways, y'all.
Till we see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one. We hope you enjoyed.